Greetings everybody, I'm Commander Great, CJ for short. Recently, it was the 5-year anniversary for the original LEGO movie, and to celebrate, I thought I would look back at the first LEGO movie to see if it still holds up.
Actually, CG, it's been 10 years.
10 years! Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Yeah, that's right. This February, the first LEGO movie turned 10 years old. What? I'm not old, you're old.
Growing up.
Now, I've always been a LEGO kid at heart. As you can tell. There's just something about Legos that's just so fun. It just has, like, a fun energy about it, which is something that no other construction toys have been able to replicate. If you gave me Mega Bloks, I would fucking slap it out of your hands. So you can imagine my excitement when back in 2013, we got the first teaser for the LEGO movie. And man, was I excited. I don't want to exaggerate things, but my reaction was a little something like this. Now, LEGO movies were nothing new at the time. We had already gotten a few direct-to-DVD movies previously, like The Adventures of Clutch Powers.
Clutch Powers. Clutch Powers.
There were also these Bionicle movies, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know shit about Bionicle. I'll leave that stuff up to Diamond Bolt. While other kids were playing with Bionicles, I was playing with fucking Ninjago figures, hell yeah. Now, the LEGO movie looked unlike any other piece of LEGO media we had gotten previously, and I remember I would keep rewatching the trailer over and over again until the movie came out. Me and my friends were totally obsessed with this movie. I would always try to get my hands on as many pieces of LEGO movie merchandise as I could. I would get the sets, the collectible minifigures, even the McDonald's cups. Well, at least one McDonald's cup. I only had the Lord Business one. If anyone out there has any of these, please hit me up. I need them all. I would even build my own little mocks of sets I didn't already have. Don't believe me? Here's 8-year-old me with a custom-made metal beard. That's right, I've been in this fight since I was 8 years old. And of course, there was also the video game, which I would always play the crap out of. I remember I got it for my birthday in 2014, but even before that, I would always look up gameplay videos of it online from my GOAT Blitzwinger. Even though it did spoil the plot of the movie for me before I watched it. Oops. And then we have the actual movie itself. Oh my god, this movie is such a masterpiece. I remember I saw it on opening night with 2 of my friends in 3D, and that was just such an amazing experience. I remember right after the movie was done, I wanted to just run home immediately and start building with Legos. Now, the first LEGO movie is generally considered to be one of the best animated movies of all time, with amazing animation, really funny jokes, and emotional beats that actually managed to hit. But it wasn't always like that. When the first trailer came out, people didn't really think much of it. Sure, the animation looked gorgeous, but many people thought it was just gonna be a soulless cash grab that was just made to sell more LEGO sets. Well, it may be a cash grab, but it is anything but soulless. When it finally came out, most people realized how good of a movie it actually was. The movie follows Emmett, your standard middle-class white boy who works at a construction site, when one day he falls into the trap that all middle-class white boys do at some point. He falls in love with an emo girl. He then falls down a big hole and finds himself stuck with a piece of resistance, which is the only thing that can stop the evil Lord Business from gluing the entire LEGO world together with the Kraggle, which is literally just a tube of crazy glue. It is then up to Emmett, together with his love interest Wildstyle, to try and stop Lord Business before it's too late, being joined by many kooky characters along the way, like Vitruvius, Unikitty, Metalbeard, and Benny the Spaceman. Oh my god, Benny the Spaceman, I love you like you were my son.
Do you want to build a
So much passion was poured into this movie. You can tell the people behind it had a real love for LEGO. Now, while it wasn't the first LEGO movie ever made, it was the first theatrical one, and you can really tell they made the most out of their budget, especially when you look at its visuals and animation. The movie's visuals were made as sort of an homage to stop-motion brick films, with a lot of people even thinking the movie was stop-motion when it first came out, but in reality, it's entirely CG animated, which, you know, makes sense because if it was stop-motion, they'd probably still be working on it. Everything in the movie is made out of actual LEGO bricks. The buildings are made of LEGO, the clouds are made of LEGO, even the water is made of LEGO. And the characters actually move how real LEGO figures move. In LEGO media before this movie, characters would mostly move like your standard animated characters, stretching and moving however they want. But if you look at a real LEGO minifigure, they're really much more stiff than that. They can only really move their arms, legs, and heads, and that's exactly how they move in the Lego Movie, which only heightens the comedy of it. And the cast. How the fuck did they get this many A-list celebrities for this stupid Lego Movie? Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Ferrell, Liam Neeson, fucking Morgan Freeman? Chris Pratt as Emmett just makes so much sense. This was before he was playing every single animated character ever made, so his voice really just fits Emmett. Emmett is supposed to be the most generic Lego person ever, so it only makes sense to have him be voiced by the most generic man ever.
Bring it down hard.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool.
Will Ferrell as Lord Business also sounds absolutely amazing. He really made me believe that Will Ferrell was an evil villain. You know, a non-blue evil villain. You know what's funny? With this and the Barbie movie, he has officially played 2 evil CEOs in movies made about toys, which isn't a nickel, but it's twice that it happened weird a lot. Then we've got Morgan Freeman, who fits absolutely perfectly as the wise old master Vitruvius. Something a little funny about him in this movie is that this is still to this day the only animated movie he's ever been a part of, and I find it funny that the one animated movie he's been in is the funny Lego Movie with the funny Batman. Speaking of Batman, he's another hilarious part of this movie. He's portrayed by Will Arnett here, aka Shirley Squirrel, aka BoJack Horseman.
Rehab was supposed to be a fresh start.
He's like the ultimate parody version of Batman, while also being a genuinely good version of the character. Like, they somehow managed to make him funny, while also being respectful to the character. You can tell why they decided to give him his own spin-off later on. He also gets cucked by Emmett. The movie moves at a perfect pace, and you're never bored while watching it. It truly does feel like the plot was made up by a child, and I mean that in the best possible way. As a child, I remember I would always make up little Lego adventures just like this with my own Lego figures, where pretty much anything could happen, and that's exactly how this movie feels. We got characters from different themes and franchises all mixed together, filling in the roles of the master builders. We got characters from DC like Batman and Superman, characters from Lego's own themes like Ninjago and City, and even some strange little one-off characters like Milhouse from The Simpsons, Shaquille O'Neal, and even some Star Wars characters. It truly feels like an adventure made up by a child, and it also makes perfect sense in the context of the actual movie, considering, well, it is made up by an actual child. Yeah, the big twist of this movie is that the entire thing takes place inside the mind of a child, who's playing out the adventure in his head, with Lord Business actually being a representation for his dad. But Buddy the Elf? They really do a good job of building up to this twist. Throughout the movie, you get little hints to it, like Emmett's vision of a giant hand, and all of the real-world objects that can be found around the Lego world. So when the reveal finally comes, it does make sense, and the twist really just makes the movie even better, really puts the movie into context. Now, from the start, it was pretty clear that the Lego Movie was going to be a huge success, but I don't even think Warner Brothers could have expected exactly how beloved this movie was gonna be, getting good reviews all around and being beloved by both critics and audiences, which isn't really something that happens too often. And it paved the way for so many amazing new animated movies. Yes, the Lego Movie itself did get a couple sequels with varying quality, but the success of this movie also showed that studios could finally start to actually experiment more with their animation. Before this movie, most 3D animated movies would always kind of copy that clean, cartoony look of Disney or DreamWorks, and not really go anything beyond that. But after the Lego Movie, a lot more animated movies started to be more experimental with their art style, most notably the Spider-Verse movies, which were actually made by the same directors as the Lego Movie. So, to celebrate the legacy of the Lego Movie, I propose a toast. Not just to the Lego Movie franchise, but to the animation industry as a whole. Bon appetito! I got a brick stuck in my throat! Call 911!